2017, Fenway Park, Boston. It was the Boston Red Sox versus the Cubs. I was there. This is the first time I ever used the men's restroom. And you know, I had to go to the bathroom before that, like in public. Obviously, I'm transgender, but I still have a butthole. That's kind of the great equalizer. Buttholes are non-binary. But anyways, I was always using the women's restroom. Is this weird to talk about? Why do I feel like this huge swing of conservatism in like 2025? I tried to paint my bathroom and I accidentally made it a little girl's room. It's looking like a little girl's room. Look at it. Oh, I have to jump off the couch. You know, every stunt double I've ever worked with, I'm like, how do you do it? And they're like, I just do it. For Planet! Should I put my suit on? Wait. Did you know I was in a play production when I was 8 of Godspell Jr. and I did play Judas? I think I have the clip. This is something me and my boyfriend like genuinely do. We'll go back and forth and give suggestions for like tattoo cover up, but they have to be like horrible. Last time we played this game, his suggestion, The Last Supper. I just found out Snoop Dogg hates us. So, you know, you can't have it all. Advice for people who feel insecure about their tummies. Tummies! Yeah, you gotta go places where like actual people are existing. I think a big reason for any insecurity we have is because we're being pushed. It's like certain lifestyle and aesthetic, and it's like every video we see we're being sold to, and it's not even just products, it's like life. Like everyone needs to aspire for something different and more and look the same and look like this, and like it's obviously always been this way, but I think with social media there's been much more widespread. I've never felt more confident in myself than when I've gone places where people are just being so genuine, and it's like that's not on social media. You know? I mean, like especially I think in the trans world, we're in the business of body modification here, but a lot of times you lose the plot and it starts becoming less about being your authentic self and more about aesthetics. Being surrounded by others who don't give a fuck allows you to not give a fuck yourself. And it's hard to find those places, but they do exist, and they can always start with you. Be that silent okay for somebody else to be like, wait, they love them, I can love me. You're gonna write other music. I can't tell you how embarrassed I am to continue the series. I needed a shark. It was still during COVID days. No one could give me a shark, which is just, okay, so I'm not making sense. In 2017, I had a series called Hella Gay, and in one of the episodes, it was titled Coming Out is Scary. And it was based off of this larger idea that I had of like, oh, you interview different people talking about their coming out experiences. That can be viewed as scary. It's a scary thing to be vulnerable and, you know, share yourself. And as you're doing that, you're doing something else that is scary. Either like actually like scary or like very vulnerable scary. And so in like 2020, I wanted to bring this back, and I was like, okay, let's kick it off by me talking about my experiences while also doing something scary. And for Miles, that is singing a little song, like doing a whole thing. And so it ended up going up on Spotify, and then I just never did anything else because I could not get the next video would be me presumably with somebody else and a shark. It's still, I got the pin in it, so we're gonna circle back. It's just that video, and then it kind of turned into people being like, whoa, he's like doing music, because yeah, why wouldn't you think that? I made a video and posted a song, but it was supposed to be like, this is... Go look it up on Spotify. Cue the music. I don't think it's good, but you know, it's a fun time. I think it's fine. It was 2017, Fenway Park, Boston. It was the Boston Red Sox versus the Cubs. I was there. That was the first time I ever used the men's restroom. And you know, I had to go to the bathroom before that, like in public. Obviously, I'm transgender, but I still have a butthole. That's kind of the great equalizer. Buttholes are non-binary. But anyways, I was always using the women's restroom. Is this weird to talk about? Why do I feel like this huge swing of conservatism in like 2025? There's a lot of reasons for it. I know we all feel it. I think the economy, kind of the biggest one. But anyways, I'm on a mission right now to be so violently transgender on the internet. Not violently, but you know, with somebody asked like, whoa, why the YouTube like push right now? And it's like, I feel like I'm trans Nanny McPhee. When you want me but no longer need me, I must go. When you need me but don't want me, I am. Anyways, I've had to piss before. I can, you know, I'll say it. I would use the women's restroom in the early days because that's what I'd always used until like people would give me weird looks, presumably being like, why is this cute twink in here? But most likely like, oh, is he looking for his mom? What I wasn't ready for was this really niche trans experience where you come out of the closet and you start getting gendered correctly, but it sucks. I was in line and these two guys behind me were being like so mean to women. There's a word for that. misogynistic and looked at me and tried to kiki. Looking at me like, oh my god, you would love to do that with us too, right? That's crazy. Miles, should I go stealth in college or turn up transgender? Well, it's kind of, it doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want to do. And there's pros and cons with both, right? When I was actually on Goosebumps, I met half of the cast first, right? There's 2 people cast before the 2 other people, and so I got to meet them first, and it was kind of in my head like, oh, like, do I talk about being trans? You know, because I hadn't like met someone new, you know, who like doesn't know me out of any other context that I knew I was gonna know for a long time. I mean, we all lived in another country together for 7 months. I was kind of like, oh yeah, I want to talk about being trans because that's like a big deal for me, I guess. You know, I was like, I guess, you know, I am trans, so I should talk about being trans. And so, like, in our, like, intro, like, we're all getting to know each other, we're all, like, you know, getting coffee somewhere, I was, like, talking about being trans, which, like, I didn't have to do, like, I wasn't trans in the show. So I did, you know, with the first 2 actors, as I'm, like, meeting them, I'm, like, sharing my trans experience, and I'm, like, talking about being a trans actor and stuff, and then I'm, like, after the fact, I was like, oh, man, like, I feel so weird, like, I feel dysphoric, like, I feel like, I don't know, did that really matter? Like, did that like take away from me being seen as like who I am? Because that really isn't who I am. That's kind of the journey I got to get here. So, you know, I don't know, I felt weird about it. And then, you know, the other 2 actors get hired, they show up. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do completely different. Like when these 2 other actors come in, I'm not gonna talk about being trans at all with them. And so I didn't, you know, I shared my upbringing and I didn't talk about being trans. And then I left our first Kiki and I was like, oh, I feel weird about this too. Like I feel like there's like a piece of context that like, I mean, they could look me up online or they may just know I'm trans. Like it wasn't like that, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, I felt weird like not talking about it. So like, should you be stealth in college? I feel like it depends on the day, you know? Like, and I share that because I think a lot of us like look to social media as like kind of a guideline of like, oh, what are you doing in your transition? What are you doing in your life? Like, can I adopt anything for me? And you know, trans people are people, you know? You don't have to have it all figured out. I definitely don't. Can you speak on changing your last name for the people who want to do it? Yeah, I kind of wish I did. I don't know. Miles McKenna, it works. It's my name. I'm like, it works. You know when you're like really craving like pasta and you're like, I just have to have it. Like we have to order pasta. Like that was kind of what the name change was like for me. Cause I'll get a lot of questions from people being like, well, like how did you change your name? And like how, it was kind of like, it needs to happen today. There'd been a lot of thought behind it, trust. Like, I had changed my name personally since I was like a teenager. I was making YouTube videos back in 2007, and this is before people were sharing their names online. Like, everyone had usernames because it was like stranger danger. What if someone shows up to your school? I initially was making videos saying that my name was something completely different, which was a boyish name, and probably why my parents were like, okay, you can actually like say your name, like it's fine, just like be safe. So what, like a decade later when I'm actually like, no, I'm gonna do this, and like I feel comfortable and confident, and like it's safe now. I was like, this has to be done. Because I didn't know what name I wanted for the rest of my life. That's a big question, but I did know what name I didn't want. So I was like, you know what? Anything's gonna be better. But I initially was like, I will change my last name, and that was just a big ask. And I didn't know of any other trans person who had done this. I was looking at different surnames. I'm like, is that weird? I don't know. Now, it's like, oh, why wasn't I just Miles Aaron? That's my middle name. Like Miles Aaron. You don't need to put so much pressure on this. You're still gonna get your Starbucks drink no matter what you tell them. It's fine. But at the end of the day, I love my name. The only caveat is a lot of people think that my dead name is McKenna. They think that was like my first name and that I'd like put it as my last name. Like people close to me, which sucks. McKenna's always seemed like a really masculine name to me. Cause obviously it was like my father's name. No, that's a girl name. I like really put a girl name as my last name. It's fine. I mean, Miles McKenna. I remember saying that like, well, maybe this is cool. That like my homophobic, transphobic father will always have a last name that's tied to trans rights and helping the youth. Do you think we should forgive trans people who have perpetuated internalized transphobia? I bring this into our conversation because of something my boyfriend said recently. We were watching a terrible movie. Like, it's one of those like, we made a trans story and we cast a little girl to play this trans man. It's the Elle Fanning one, okay? And I'll tangent. Hire trans people to play trans people, please. But anyways, there's this whole scene in the movie where like the mom is like supporting her trans son, and then she's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, and kind of like, what's the right thing to do here? And a line she says in the movie is, am I a good mother or am I a bad mother for supporting my child? My boyfriend and I were talking about this, and he's also trans, and he goes, well, the answer is right there in the question. Am I a good mother for supporting my child? The answer is yes. You are a good mother if you support your child. And so in this question, do you think we should forgive trans people? Do you think we should forgive? Do you think we should forgive trans people? Well, I think the answer is yes. That's the video. It was good to catch up. It was really nice to see you. This was great. Comment down below. Do you have a question? Because I'll answer it. Maybe.